Hey, what's up guys, DyzZeE here for DyzastaDesign, just continuing the series, make another tutorial quickly. With this tutorial I'm just going to show you some ways in which you can use text, use 2D text to put into logos or make custom text for your name or YouTube channel, etc. Okay, so starting off, just get rid of the background layer because that's annoying. So if I write something quickly, okay, there's ways you can change this text. The best ways are selecting sections of the text, for example this section, and then joining it up with other parts of the text. Let's say I wanted to transform this part, move it along and connect it up with the end of this S. I'll do that now. So first thing you need to do is, once you've got your text, make sure it's the right size, and then you can right click on the text layer, rasterize the type. That's going to make the text layer editable. And you can come over and get the selection tool and then choose whichever part of the text you want to transform, and then I'm just going to select the middle of this A and then move to the arrow tool, and then you can select this part here. So you've cut that out. Now what I like to do is make it a whole new layer, so Control X and then Control V, that's cutting it and then pasting it back as a new layer. So then you can put that back there with the other text in line with it, and then Control T, that's going to make that bit editable. Then you can just drag that along to where you want it. Okay, so I want it there, so it's met up with the S. Now bits to make the text look cleaner. If you zoom in, you're going to see that it's unevenly toned here. The way that I like to do it is you can just make a selection of that area, and if it's not the right size, just transform selection, and you can just decrease the size, increase the size, or move it. So once that's the right size that you want it, just hit enter and choose both the layers you've got and hit delete. That's going to take off the unevenly toned transparent areas around the text. That's going to make this edge a lot cleaner. Then again you can go along here and you can do it to this side. Now just make sure you do it to both layers so you get all the stuff. So that looks pretty good. You've merged them both, but if you want to see how the S is curved, if you want to merge them even better, you can take off areas of the S so that it's curved. A good way to do this is using the pen tool. Now you can choose your first point where the two texts meet, but to make it kind of smoother, you click it a bit of the way down the first text and then go a little bit in from the edge on the second layer, and then click and hold and then drag, and you're going to make a curve. So you can just play around with it until you get roughly where you want it to make it smooth. Now for example here, if it isn't going with the curve of the text, just hold control and you can just move this point of the path that you've made. Now you can just move that in, and then you can just hold control and you can play with these to get the angle right again. So let's say that I want that there, and it's still not right. I can then move that into here and play with more till I get it how I want it. So once you've done that, I'll just leave that there. So then you can hold Alt and you can move this bit up here so that this bit controls the angle that the next path or the next point you've selected goes to. So if you just move that to 90 degrees while holding shift, then you can hold shift again and click out to the side. That's going to make the next point at 90 degrees from the previous one. Then just go around the rest of the text and connect it back up to the first point you made. Now right click using the pen tool, make selection. Now with text, try and make the feather radius as small as possible, so in this case 0.5 pixels. OK, and then again do it to both layers so it becomes smoother. Now see how it's sort of shaded in a bit here. You can cancel that. You can go to the selection tool and you can move your selection out a bit so that it doesn't feather it too much. Then you can delete it like that, and that looks a lot smoother. Now you can obviously spend a lot of time on this getting it perfect, but this is just a tutorial, so I'll do it quickly. Now you can do this for other sections of the text. Obviously, other things you can do to the text: make spaces between the small spaces between the each letter, which look pretty good. I'll do it for between the Y and the Z here. So Control X, Control V once you've got the selected area you want. Now line it back up. Now it's a new layer, so you can just Control T, move it along to where you want it. Again, you can take the tops of the text off here if it's uneven. Again, do it to all layers so you get it right. Then what I like to do is get the polygonal lasso tool. Now just go down and find a bend or a point where the direction in the text changes. For example, this point here. Now you just select that point and you just continue up so that it's sort of parallel with the rest of the text. So there. Okay, so there, and then you can just go across a little bit, and then again you can go down, sort of just judge it so it's parallel. And then you can just merge that up. Then again do it to both layers. Delete that, and it gives a nice little space at an angle between the two letters. Okay, other ways you can make your text look better is just by moving an entire letter over. So if you hold Shift once you've got the letter selected, just drag it around and it's gonna make it a lot easier to keep it at the same level. So I want to move that into there. Then just once you've got it to where you want, just hit Control D, that's going to deselect it. So you can do that with lots of letters. You can move more than one at a time. Just select more. Now when you've got sections that you've modified, you're going to want to merge all your layers together first so that you've selected the right bits and you can move it all as one. So just select the entire area and just hold Shift again and you can move it across, then Control D again, then just do that with all the other letters. Just move it to where you want, and you can merge more of the letters together wherever you want and however you want to give it a nice personal effect. Okay, so something someone else has asked me to do is to show you how to take 2D items or 2D text from Photoshop and put them into Cinema4D to make them 3D. So what I do is I hold Control and I click on the small image in the Layers tab of the text or item that I want to put into Cinema4D. So that's going to select the outline of it. Now if you're doing text, make the layer quite large, otherwise it's going to get jagged edges. For example, a good template to use would maybe be 2000 by 2000 pixels. That way the text isn't going to be too small and it's going to have nice clean edges when you put it into Cinema4D. So once you've got that selected, you can right click with the selection tool and just go make work path, tolerance as small as possible, so 0.5 pixels. You're going to see that's going to make a work path around the text, and that's going to be a work path here down in the Paths tab. So once you've done that, go to File, Export, Path to Illustrator. Now you don't need Illustrator for this to work, so once this comes up, just make sure it's work path. OK. Now just save it as whatever you want. So disaster_text. Now you're done with that. Now wherever you saved that to, just open up Cinema4D, and you can just get it out of your documents. So Cinema4D, open wherever you've saved it to, disaster text, the .ai file, open, OK. Now that's going to bring this path into Cinema4D. Now what you then have to do is go over to the text tab up here, press the small plus symbol beside the text, highlight just the 3 paths, not the text, and then just drag them out of that. Now you can delete the first one, and then you want to go to this green box or green circle surrounded by a cubed outline, then go to extrude NURBS, then just Control C, Control V, so copy that however many times there are paths, and then just drag the path onto that. So now all of that is now 3D. Now what you can do with that is then you can go to Object, you can go to Movement, and this is going to change the last one is going to change the depth of it. So at the moment it's 20. I can then change that up really large or smaller, and then from then on it's pretty much the same as my 3D text in Cinema4D basic text tutorial that I made a couple of days ago. So if you then want to go over and check that out, then you can continue on with this. So that's it for now, guys. I'll talk to you later. Remember to leave a rating and tell me what you guys want to learn, and I'll do my best to show you. Alright, sweet. Later.